That's not the right thing. Wait. Is it going? Is it? Did I hit the wrong one? Oh wait, I think it's good. Yep. All right. Hello. This is gonna be a shorter stream, hopefully, but I'm actually gonna do some coding this time. So where we left off last time on Pixkartz was I had Portal Void in progress. I wanted to. Well, there's a bunch of things that have to change here. It's gonna have to be more set into, I guess, a void. I want to change the background here, but then also I have to add a bunch of portals everywhere. So the portals are gonna be interesting. I'm gonna need let's see. I'm gonna need. Wait, which way? What's a right turn? Yeah, so what I'm gonna need to do a lot of coding to make it so that you can jump between layers on the map. If you look at this map here, let me move my head this way. The map crosses over itself a ton, and that's because this is going to be 2 layers of a map. So I'm gonna have to add like essentially portals, which is going to be a bit messy because there's a lot of code already there, and it was not something I was thinking about when I was originally writing the code. So hopefully I can get that done today, and then hopefully it also won't take too long. I'm hoping for maybe an hour. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a quite different track from the other ones, and I'm hoping it's going to be more interesting. Not sure how I'm probably not gonna mess with the AI for the rockets on this today. I'll probably do that another time. But that will also be a problem later. I might do it like the cannons in Mario Kart, where they just destroy items anyways, like they destroy red shells. That is an option. Alright. So, first thing first, let's open up a sprite. And who sent me a ping on Discord? Okay. Portal Void. Here we are. So here's the map, but it's actually in multiple layers here. And something I'm going to have to do is separate the extras. So that's the decoration. So, did I already? Nice. So the way this will work is the way this will work is you'll I'll have like multiple layers of the map. So I'll have like this version of the map, and then I'll have this version of the map, and I want them to connect through portals, and what's going to happen is that the game's just going to switch which one you're on, depending on which layer your car is on. And you hit a portal and it changes your layer. So it's simple in concept, but there's netcode stuff that goes into it. Like, for example, you don't want to show other cars that are on a different layer, so they don't need to be hidden if they're not on the same layer. So there's some networking component that I have to change for this, which is not actually going to be that difficult. The harder part is like just adding the portals themselves. So I'm not going to do too much visually for the portals. I'm going to add it onto the extra layer. So right now I have this extras layer. Well, the way the game works is there's like 3 layers. So there's your terrain layer, which tells you where the road is and like where the dirt is and the void and stuff like that. At the decor layer, like this, where all the artwork is, which there's not really any artwork for this track yet. And then I have the extras layer where it's got like different things you can interact with on the track. So like these are speed boosts. These are jumps. Like ramps. You hit them and you jump over a gap or whatever. So the way these work is that their strength is determined by the brightness of the color, but then the type of thing it is determined by the color channel that I'm using. So the green ones are speed boosts, the red ones are the ramps, and then that leaves one more channel that is currently unused, which I can use for the portals. Although fortunately for portals, I don't need the whole range of 256 on them. I can just do yeah, I can just use like 2 of the numbers, because I just need one to go up a layer and one to go down a layer. There's no varying strength to a portal or something like that. So let's go ahead and pick some colors. So I don't want to use like, I could actually just use 1 and 2, but visually when you're looking at the map for editing it, that would be very confusing because they basically look like black. So I'm gonna do like 100 and 200, I think, maybe. So 100 and 200. So 200 will be up and 100 will be down. Actually, I don't think I have my sketch anymore. So the way this will work, I need to figure out which one's the top layer and which one's the bottom layer. That's also going to be a question. Actually, it technically doesn't matter, but so all of that, we can say this is the top one. So you go down right around here. So right here, there needs to be a portal. And I've got the shape for it already. So I just gotta draw the portal in there at 100 red or blue. Apparently I skipped out on preschool because I don't know my colors. All right. Oh wait, no, this needs to be on the extras layer. Where's my extras layer? So is it? It's this. Where is it? Hello. Oh wait, no, I think it is 4, right? So 4, yeah, I need to be on 4. So I can draw my portal here. We'll just go wee. And as soon as a car hits this, it doesn't have to be super precise. Can I just like note that does not work? I can actually just, and actually this part should come before you go into the void so that it actually triggers. Wait, how does this compare? So I'm just using my finger on the screen here to make sure. Okay, so I've got room. So I can just go way over here and make sure that you do actually hit it before you hit the void. And so that will be the thing that takes you down. So I need one that takes you down and one that takes you up. I do not need to draw anything over here because once you hit the thing on the other layer, you'll just be teleported up here. All right, so let's do the other one. So I have to go to the other extras layer for this one. I have layer 5, and we're gonna, it's gonna be right here. So I'll just hide 2. So I have to, do I not? I actually don't think I have as much room on this one. So, wait, hang on. Oh yeah, the extras are shown above both of them, I think. Where are the, oh, okay, so layer 5 is what I edit, okay. So I need the portal right here. I think that'll work. So now I can just hide that, show that, and make sure that that lines up. Okay. So, did I? You know what? I'm gonna move this up to here because, yeah, all the extras need to be shown above so I can see what's going on. But also, I need a different color for this one. This is the one that's going up, so I need 200. And so the system allows for like a bunch of different layers. I can do like 5, 10, 100 layers if I wanted, but that would take a lot of RAM to have that all loaded in at once because these are huge images, 5,000 by 3,000, and there's like multiple layers for each one. So there's a lot of data there, and it's like not stored super efficiently in Pygame, I don't think, because normally you wouldn't need to do that. So I probably wouldn't do like 10, but I might do like 3 or 4. Because right now, well, technically I'm loading all of the maps in at once. And it does take a couple seconds for the game to load because it has to load in so many images and it uses a lot of RAM right now. So I will have to optimize that later. I might do that before the next play test so that the game's faster. Because right now it's just like loading in, I think, is it gigabytes? Maybe, into RAM. Anyways. So now that we've done that, we can try and split this up. So the way we name this is going to have to be interesting. I've not entirely decided how I'm going to approach the naming yet. So let me go into my maps thing. So here's what it is currently. So it would make sense for these like default ones to be just essentially floor 0, terrain 0, etc. I want to keep it as the current name because that's what the name the game expects to be there. I don't want to go rename all of them for that. But then I also don't want a -1. Actually, maybe I can. I guess I will. It's really the easiest way to do it. I'm gonna, for the layer down, I'm gonna put a -1 in it. And then if I went up, it would be 1. If I went up 2 layers, it'd be 2. So I gotta re-export these, and split my layers here. So the, let's go ahead and do the upper layer. So this is the upper layer right here. And then I can hide the extras, and that will be the upper export as. This will be the, oh yeah, floor is the image, right? And terrain is the terrain. So I need to overwrite this because before I was just testing it out with both of them merged because I didn't have the system to have different like layers yet, and I wanted to make sure the layout was decent. Anyways, so let's go ahead and export this. Yeah. And then I also need, this will be the terrain version. Wait, I need, hang on, is that supposed to be transparent? I don't remember how this is supposed to work. Let's take a look at this one. So it's supposed to be black. Hang on, where's my black? Oh, that is a bit awkward. Hang on, I need a new layer now. Because all these should have been over like a black layer. Alright. Okay, so now we re-export this as the, this one's actually gonna be the terrain. Export, yes. And then we turn on that, and this is gonna be the floor. And then we need our extras. So these are completely separate. So extras. I'll write that. Okay, so the extras appear to not have a background. I don't know if that's normal. Let's see. Let's go to like Sandy Oasis. Okay, so it seems like a lot of times they don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Export as, and then this will be our extras. And now we switch to the other layer, and it's going to be this one. So this was the terrain. And then, like I said, I'm going to just put -1 here. It's going to look so scuffed, but should work in theory. Now we can turn on that and grab our extras. So we extras -1. And there's one more left I forgot about, and that's going to be doing this one and calling this one the terrain. So this is the terrain -1. Oh, I forgot that it helps if I actually show the extras here because I can see the hitboxes. Let me fix the other one too. It's useful to have these on the floor. Did I put that on the right one? Oh, I'm missing I think I did this wrong. I'm having a very hard time today. So sorry, this one is gonna not be this. This is gonna be floor -1. And then if I turn off the extras, wait, no. Yes, if I turn off the extras, this is gonna be the terrain -1. All right, I think I got it right. Just to double check, so here's the floor. I can see the extras, that's good. I want to be able to debug that. And then this is floor -1, and then here's the terrain. We don't want those extra colors there because that'll behave weird. And then we've got our extras, which are separate, so that's all we need. So now I need to get the game to load those in. Now, where are the maps loaded? I have not touched this part of the code in like a year. Probably over a year, actually, because I started the game like March or April last year, and I do not remember where I put this stuff. So presumably some client scripts. There's a thing for track. Where do you get your maps from? Okay. So this system needs to change. Instead of using .floor.terrain.extras, I'm gonna have to change that into a dictionary based on the layer. And it looks like these are loaded dynamically, so these should all, I think, be in there automatically. Let's see, so load map. Yeah, so it just loads the whole directory. So all of the other images are gonna be in here. I just have to find them. So how do I want to do this? Yeah, so I'm gonna make these a dictionary, and then I have to populate them. So for image in self.eat, or here I should do that. For that, and actually I only need to do this once. I can do all of these at once. So if floor in image layer equals floor image dot split. So if you remember, the way I did this is I put an underscore right there, and is that going to be? I think that, yeah, I think that'll work. So I split by the underscore, grab the last value. If len layer equals int of layer, else layer equals 0, because then you're not setting anything. So actually, wait, this goes for all of them, I think. I'll do this for all of them. And so self.floor layer equals, and then we take our image. And then we do the same for the other things. If terrain in image, wait, oh, this is the path. So to get the path, or no, it's the name, not the full path. Image name is that. So now our image is going to have to be this with image name on the end. So that'll be our image, but then our image name is what we're checking right here. And I also need to do that there. Okay. So now I can add this to the terrain. And if extras in image name, copy that. And so that should, in theory, load in all our stuff, and it'll be by the layer. Now, I guess when you render now, we'll have to select a layer. So we'll say layer equals, actually, how do I access this stuff? Yeah, I think I can set it here. So layer equals 0. And the way this will work is we'll pull our floor based on the layer given on the render call. And I think that this is just for rendering the floor. Blocks, do you care about any of the stuff? Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll search for the floor. So floor only appears a couple times. Then we have extras. That doesn't really appear. And then we also have terrain. Oh, what is that? HUDmap.bind terrain. Oh, that's how it generates the... That's awkward. Here's what I'm gonna do. I need another image. Here, actually I can delete these things now. I don't need these. It's probably annoying you guys. And then I'm gonna move that to there. I need a merged terrain image so that I can render the map for the player. So the way that's gonna have to work is I go in here, turn on my layers, and this will be export, and I'll call this map.png. So the way this will work now is we'll default to using the terrain, but then if there is well, let's do stuff.map image equals none. So we'll say if map in image name, then self.map image equals image. And the way this will work is we'll do if self.map image, then we bind it with the map image. So that's going to be what the HUD uses for the map. But then otherwise, we just take the 0th layer on the terrain, which is what it's going to be for most maps. Because I don't want to go modify all the files and generate a new image for the map if I don't need to. So I only need to make this map image for the maps that have multiple layers. All right. So, does that give me what I need? I think that's all the stuff for this file. So the other thing is where everything else interacts with the track. Most of the other places don't use the floor. I don't think any other place uses the floor. So I have to use the terrain and extras, but I guess it'll crash if I do it wrong. I'm going to take a quick look at chat, though. How many days does it take to learn and completely implement the Python? I'm not sure what you mean by implement, but to learn to use it, if you know what you're doing, like if coding-wise, you can learn it in a day easily. there's not very much going on. It's learning how to make use of the tools you're given. So it's more of learning problem solving rather than learning features, which is why I like it more than game engines, is because in game engines you're learning features and you're not learning problem solving. And actually, in my case, I have a harder time remembering all the features of like game engines and stuff like that. So I have to constantly be referencing documentation, whereas in Pygame it's only a couple things, and everything else I build from scratch and problem solve in my own way, which sticks in my memory better and actually lets me work faster. So that's not normal for most people, but I particularly get a benefit out of using Pygame over game engines in that way, because I find it easier to understand my own stuff rather than trying to figure out someone else's stuff. Well, I find it easier to write some stuff from scratch than to understand how other people are doing things a lot of the times. It depends what it is. So let's say you want to use sprite stacking in your game and you have a 3D model. Can you turn it into voxel, or do you have to draw the same thing on your own? If it's a voxel model, you can figure out how to just slice it up and then you get your images, and that can be sprite stacked. If it's not a voxel model and it's like a OBJ file or something, that gets more complicated. Now what you can do is you can have a system where you can sample to see if a thing is inside the model, but then determine the color at that point gets more difficult. You can, I guess, choose the closest face of the model. Like, there's algorithms you could implement to try to convert that, but yeah, normally the best option is to just do have like voxel models, like with Magica Voxel. If you see my other streams for this game, you can see me use Magica Voxel to make the models, and then I slice it up into images so that it can be sprite stacked. How did I learn problem solving and algorithms? I mostly just learned as I went. Normally they try to kind of teach you how to do that in school to a degree if you go to college for computer science, but it's best, like, it's not foolproof the way they do it, because the best way to learn that stuff is with experience. So I learned most of that stuff just by making things that I was interested in making, so it just came as a bonus for me. You don't have to use classes for bigger games. Although the object-oriented model does make probably more sense for games than it does some other, I guess, things that people use code for. There are things that object-oriented programming gets shoved into where it's not the greatest, but game development is one of the ones where it makes more sense, but you still don't have to have everything object-oriented for game development. What was it? Was it Randy that was doing like data-oriented stuff? I don't remember. There are people that have messed around with other stuff there, and there are different ways to make games. Let's see, almost caught up, I think. You prefer a non-OOP with dictionaries? I mean, isn't that kind of what JavaScript is, where everything's just kind of a dictionary? Like their classes are dictionaries, essentially. Or I think that's how it was in the past. Maybe they've cleaned that up a bit. I'm not sure what the current situation with object-oriented programming in JavaScript is. It kind of annoys me the way the syntax was. That was the last time I looked. If you're having trouble with collision, did you watch my video specifically about collisions? I think I intentionally did not go in depth on the 6-hour tutorial because I think I referenced the one dedicated to collisions. If you have any trouble understanding that. I'm using Pygame CE. Alright, so the car likes to do this thing where it samples the terrain. So it has self.terrain, and that pulls it from the track. So the car needs to have a layer, which I can try to put on the networked object. Where is it? So it's P block is the networked part. And I'm going to default that to 0. So let's go to our blocks here. This is the networked stuff. It's going to annoy me every single time I have to touch this now because this is using an old version of ShopNet. Or, well, it wasn't even called ShopNet yet. It was called PygNet back then. And it's completely different from ShopNet. ShopNet's a lot nicer. If you saw my last stream, it was a lot easier to add fields. So fortunately, I don't need any interpolation. Let's see. Where are these? So these are the floats, and these are the ints. So I need the layer int. Can I do an int 1? 1 byte int. That gives me 256. Well, no, it needs to be unsigned because... Is this unsigned? I don't even know. How is this? Copy paste new field. Int field. Is this signed? How is this being done? Unsigned is false. S type. Where's the thing where it dumps it into a struct? I don't see that. Whatever. Let's go back. So I want that. So unsigned equals false. So that... is this really a signed... Oh, so that gives me negative 128 to 128, which is fine. That should be enough. So I'll do an int 1 for layer. I'm assuming there's nothing else called layer there. Anyways, so now that I have that there, I can go back to car, and there's going to be a self.pblock.layer. And where is that going to be? So let's just search for track. So I can just straight up index into this with self.pblock.layer. This is a little bit dangerous if somehow this gets set to something that's not a valid layer. But in theory, that means you're like hacking or something got corrupted. It's TCP, so it's unlikely that it's got corrupted. I guess I'll see if it's an issue later and maybe address it if it is. But for now, I can probably leave it like this, where I just directly index in with whatever the network stuff says is the layer. And so self.terrain will return the color of the terrain based on the location of the player or the car. And then the extras will do the same thing. Now, let me just search through for instances of track a couple more times. Okay. And then now I can also do this. I want it to be case sent, or now I can just do this. So this is how I can make sure that I catch all the instances where the track is referenced, I think. So I think that's all it is. So now it just needs to be that I can change the layer, but in theory, I might be good to go. I can give it a shot, try and run it, see what happens. That's a bit iffy, but let's see what happens. So first I have to restart the server because the server needs to know about the different player object layout. Okay. So it took a little bit longer to load, as expected. So this is, I'm gonna start this one off. Okay, so I didn't like that. Int layer with base 10 banner. Okay, hang on. So didn't like the loading that happened there. So tried to load the map. And let's see what happened. Layer equals image name dot split underscore. So here's the error I've got over here. So the layer value says banner, which means that somehow it got this after doing a split underscore -1. I'm not sure how that happened. So actually, let's go ahead and print that, because there is an underscore in the full path, but I should have seen some extra stuff there if that was the case. Let's do that. And then, well, let's print out that in a layer. So let's see what it got and everything. We run this again, and then once we hit play, in theory, we crash again. Okay, let's see what it says. Banner. Oh, you know why? It's because if there is no underscore, the -1th element is going to be just the full thing. So what I'll do, here, let's do this instead. So try except, is this an attribute error or value error? Value error, right? Value error, then you set it to 0. So it'll just always try to find the layer that way. Now if I run the game, play, cool, we select portal void, let's mute this one and throw it off to the side, start up the other instance, nice. I can't remember if the server tries to read the terrain for any purpose. I think it only uses the blocks thing. So it's not crashing, that's good. Let's see if the thing ends properly over here. Yep. Alright, so here's the blue. Oh, is there not a, I thought there was, is there no sound for falling off? I thought there was supposed to be. Where did it go? There's also like supposed to be sparks and stuff, I think. I'm gonna have to check that later. Anyway, so here's the blue circle. Wait, I'm going the wrong way. It's back this way. So, blue circle. In theory, it's supposed to be that once I touch it, it changes my layer. Now, the question is, do I want the client to do it, or do I want the server to do it? I don't think it's a huge issue if the client does it, and that reduces the latency too. Is that what the client does over here? I'm not even sure if the client or the server does falling off the edge. If the server does falling off the edge, that means if someone changes the layer in the bad spot, it's gonna, well, also there's lap issues as well, I think. Not sure what would happen. I think I'll do it on the client for now, and then I can change it later if I decide it's necessary. Alright, so let's go ahead and make the blue circle change the layer. So it's 100 and 200. 100 is down and 200 is up. Let's see if this is going to be... Oh, also on the render call for the track, I need to... There's no way to find this. Render floor. So this will be based on if was it if self.car else this, then layer equals self.car.pblock.layer. That will change what's rendered. Now the other part is to try to make it so that the player will change layer when they touch it. So the correct way to do this is to look for where it's doing the jumps and stuff, I guess. So self.extra. How's this done? Self.terrain extras. This is where it is. So I just do if self.terrain extras. Ooh. Hang on. That's indexing into something. So portal will be extras 2. So now I can index in and say, what is my portal level? and then I can do if self.terrain extras portal, so this will be down, is 100. And then I also need to make sure that I'm self.grounded. If and self.grounded. I'll do pass for now, and then I also need one for if it's 200, because that's up. So then I just have to change my layer. I'm going to reach out real quick though. ChatGPT never does what you asked for. Are you saying that's you're trying to learn around it? Yeah, I wouldn't use it as a crutch trying to learn. I've seen a lot of people trying to do that in the school. From tutorials, it's hard to turn the print statement into what you needed. I'm not sure what you're asking about there. I'm guessing you're trying to learn Pygame without having a strong enough foundation on just programming in general with Python, is what it kind of sounds like, maybe. What am I using for my networking in the game? I wrote my own framework on sockets. This is the old version of it, which was called Pygnet back then. There's someone else that made something called Pygnet, which I believe is also a networking framework for Pygame. That is not mine. That's just a coincidence that it's named the same thing. Mine is not public, but it's like networked objects, so it makes my networking easier. Nowadays, I have a new revision of that called ShopNet, which is not public yet, but will probably be public sometime in the future, which is much easier to deal with for networked objects. So this is using an old version, and it's a little bit weird to use. Yeah. All right. So for this, I just got to change the layer. So self.pblock dot I think I can just change this, right? How does this work again? I don't even remember. Yeah, so if self.pblock, I can do all this stuff. Oh, I forgot to do the if check on that. That's important. Because I think sometimes pblock can be set to none. And I also need to make sure that I am the player. So if self.player or is player, am I under that if already up here? Yes, I am. So I actually don't have to do that part. So I need to make sure that I am the player, and then I also need to make sure that pblock exists. So pass, and we can say if self dot, this might also already be under that. If self dot is player, if self dot, I think it's self dot pblock. If self dot pblock, indent that, and then so that makes sure that we have our networking stuff ready, and self.pblock.layer. Can I do minus equals 1? Oh no, I have to like do like a set thing on it. It's because you have to do dot update on it. Before I could or not before, I guess kind of before. On the last stream, I could just set the value. Like, I think I could straight up just do minus equals 1, and that would be networked. But on this one, I have to do dot update because this is the older version of my networking framework. So this is going to be plus 1, so you go up if you hit 200. Now, I do have to make sure that with those other parts right here, that I make sure that I have p block. So we'll do if layer equals 0, if self.pblock.layer, no, if self.pblock layer equals self.pblock.layer. That's how we'll do it. Do that in there and replace these with that layer. So make sure that the networked object is set up for that. Now I can let's see, yeah, so I think we're good. I can see if this works. I'm gonna put some print statements here. Portal down, just so that I can see what's happening in case there are bugs. So if this works, the next step is going to be making sure that you can only see cars that are on the same layer as you, which will be interesting. So got one client up, start up the second client. Let's see if this works. I can probably leave the map up. That just crashed. Didn't like that. Okay. I forgot. I think I have to do dot value on these, right? It's another thing that I think is, I'm like mixing up my versions of my framework here. The newer one I can just throw in the field in this, like it's the actual value. On this one, I can't. I think I have to call dot value on it. Yeah, dot value. So, layer dot value right there, and then back here, dot value, and then I also need up here. This one needs to be dot value, and this one. But I think I can just start it as is, because as long as the server didn't crash, and it'll just throw me in. Yep. Now let's see if it can successfully teleport me to the other layer. I can worry about the visuals of this later, but I need the mechanics of it for now. The blue circle may be misplaced, and then also the respawn. I don't even know where I went. Did the server crash? The server did not crash. I don't even know what happened. So a couple things. I need to make sure that the blue circle does not, where is it? Portal void.asprite. I need to make sure that the blue circle does not, that should be fine. So I hit the blue circle and I was like over here somewhere. So I'm not sure what happened. That's weird. It's like it teleported me. Well, like not like on the actual coordinates, not just the layer. So I'm not sure what happened there. Oh. Let me see. If the server handles falling off the track, that might be what happened. Let's see how the server does this. So the server also has a version of the track. Spawn. It says got all the checkpoint stuff. Does it care? Oh, it does do terrain type. Yep. Okay. Although the server only loads the one that's currently active, which is funny. Anyways. Well, we're going to do a little bit of hacking here. For image file name, or we'll do image name. Image name in os.listDirp, data, images, maps, and we'll do plus map name. If terrain in image name, we need to get the layer. We'll do self.terrain as a dictionary, and then this will need to be layer equals, or try layer equals image name dot split, and we'll grab the last element and we'll throw it into an int except value error. So this is basically the same thing before, layer equals 0, and then we just load. I think it gives me the full path. So we also need to chop off the extension. I don't want the full path. I'm going to switch this to an F string. I don't want to have so many pluses in here. So map name, and then this will be the image name. Oh wait, does os.listdir, let's see. So Python import os.listdir, and we'll do stuff/Pixkartz. And I'm curious, okay, so it just gives me the file names, it doesn't give me the full path. And then, so now just throw in the layer, and oh, this is gonna be tricky. So in theory, I only call terrain type when there's a car. So I'll do layer equals 0, and there's already an exception here, so it can throw out another color if it wants to. I'm not sure what 555 is supposed to be. I guess it'll give it unknown. That works. So we'll look up the layer, and we call terrain type somewhere. Oh yes, it does do that. It does handle the void for other cars. That's funny. Let's see. So it needs the car.layer.value so that it can set the layer for the lookup. And then I think we might be good to go. Actually, wait, before we do that, make sure that nothing else is referencing the terrain. Oh, wait. I think, is that it? Well, we can run it and find out. Let's see if this fixes it. So there's that. Start up this one. Play. Auto void. All right. Well, I can kill the other client. And let's go ahead and see if this works. You know, there is an option. I could like do a interesting thing with the map where I show you what layer you're on, and then like at a lower alpha show the other layer. That would be interesting. Oh, I think it works. Now, do the respawns work? Yes. Oh, and I got sparks that time when I wasn't getting it before. So I guess the server was just confused before because of all the weird stuff that was going on. So you could take like an immediate right turn there, or you can do that one. Track is a little bit confusing when you don't have. I think I will add a thing later where it shows you kind of which layer you're on in the track, and we'll show the other ones at a different alpha. Yeah, so I'll have to work on the visual effects for the portals later, but it seems like they're working, which is what I wanted to do today. And now the track is less confusing because before I had all the both the layers merged onto one, but now it feels more like an actual track than like a maze. Yeah, so I don't have that thing crossing over here. I just go wee. So yeah, there is that immediate right turn back there. This is an alternate path. And then this will just merge back in. This is a reference to Delfino Square from Mario Kart Wii. Actually, wait, is Delfino Square one of the retro tracks? Is that one of the Wii ones? I don't remember. Anyways, portals are working. I'll take a look at chat. I got like 50 Pi files going on. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, that's what happens when you make... That's how it happens with object-oriented stuff when you do larger games. Because I think Pixkartz at this point is my longest running active game. So I started on it in March of last year and I'm still working on it. Oh, I gotta remove the portal up, portal down thing. That's it. I don't need that. Bye-bye. But yeah, so there's like a lot of scripts in here. There's thousands of lines. If you look at the games that were released like 5 years ago though, like most of the code is in one file. The source code, yeah, you can get like the source code on itch.io, and I think one of them, I think it's Drawn Down Abyss, has it in the files on Steam if you look. Teleported the wrong way. No, it's working correctly. Pygame with SDL or SDL2. It's SDL2 technically, but it's using mostly features that were also in SDL1. That's what Pygame 2 is, the version 2 of Pygame, which happened, was it 2022 or 2020? I can't remember. Yep. It's funny, I saw the people are starting work on SDL3. So that suggests that there will someday be a Pygame 3. So what fixed it exactly? It wasn't getting the layer value on respawn. So what was happening was the server was trying to evaluate whether or not the player was driving in the void and should be respawned, but it was loading the base like layer 0 terrain and didn't have access to both layers to determine where the void was. So I had to update the server so that it had access to both layers and then would actually check which layer the car was on to determine if it should be counted as being out of bounds. And yeah, I had just forgotten that was server side, that the out of bounds check was done. And yeah, so I just had to fix that, and that did it. But yeah, anyways, so like I said, today was gonna be a shorter stream. I have other stuff I gotta do today, so if you remember what I did last week, that project I need to make a video for this weekend, and I've been working on it. Yep, I need some time to work on that, so I didn't want to do too much today. Next Pixkartz stream, I will be doing, well, I guess I'll be working on the visuals for this track, and then maybe I'll do the portal visuals last. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to approach that. I think I'll leave the portals kind of empty for now and then add something there later. And I'll probably do some shader stuff with that, but that'll be like probably different weeks. Next week I'll probably just start working on drawing the artwork for this track, and making it look more like a track than a random brown strip running through black water or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, so and then after I finish this track, since this is track number 8, I'll have to do some bug fixing based on the findings from the last playtest, and then we'll have another playtest. So hopefully within a couple months there'll be another playtest. Anyways, thanks for coming. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll possibly see you guys next week. I don't know. I don't remember what if I'm